I did Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations every single day, but still I felt stuck for a long time. I doubted myself, I overthought everything, and honestly, I thought something was wrong with me. But the truth is, I was doing my meditations completely wrong. And when I look back at all those years, I can see exactly which 7 lessons created my biggest breakthrough afterwards. And if you understand these 7 lessons, your meditations will start working much faster and with far less struggle than I did. So if you are tired of feeling stuck, this video is for you. So let's dive into the first valuable lesson, lesson number 1. My mind kept wandering and my inner voice kept saying it was not going to work. Every time I sat down to meditate, my mind took off instantly. Thoughts all over the place. I could not stay present for more than a few seconds. And the same sentence kept looping in my head. This is not working. You are wasting your time. It felt like the more I tried, the more my own mind pushed back. But then at some point I understood something really important, and that is this. It was the old me trying to be the same, trying to survive. Because if you want to become someone new, the old one has to die. So instead of fighting my thoughts or getting frustrated, I started doing something totally different. I began treating my mind like a little puppy, and this really did the trick. So what I did was this. When you train a puppy, it has so much energy and it runs around everywhere without any focus or any attention. It gets distracted by every sound, every smell, every movement, and it ignores you 1,000 times, right? So I'm a real dog lover and I've had a lot of puppies into my life. And every time your little dog is not listening to you, you say sit and gently guide it back to its position, right? And if you do this over time, something important happens because your repetition creates a new habit for your little dog. And repetition makes your little dog listen over time. And therefore, repetition makes the little dog obey your command. And this is exactly the same with your wandering mind. It is so simple. You are the master. Your body and mind have to listen to you, not the other way around. And this takes repetition. It takes patience. But you will see, the more you practice it, the better you become at this awareness game. And once I understood that it was a little game, meditation finally became something more fun. It stopped feeling like a battle, but more like a game where you have more levels stacked on each other. And when I saw this as a game where I had to get better and better at it, it became more fun. And I also started using it throughout the day. And that is where I really made a lot of progress on my attention. Because when you are aware of your attention and you focus your attention on the moment your mind starts to wander, starts to drift off, your attention is everything. And this is where most people go wrong. They fail to manifest the life they want because they do not have a clear picture of their future. And when your vision is fake, you already know what you will manifest, right? More of the same. And this is why a precise blueprint is essential. A clear inner image shows your mind exactly where to go and who you are becoming. And this is why I love using a mind movie. It gives your brain a vivid picture of your future self. You see it, you feel it, and when you stay in those elevated feelings long enough, you begin to manifest the blueprint exactly as you created it. If you are interested, the link is down in the description below. And even when I became better at catching my thoughts, there was still one big problem left, and that is lesson number 2. I started meditation from the wrong state of mind and expected it to work. So every time I started my meditation, I kept asking myself the same questions over and over again. Am I doing this right? Is this the right breath? Oh man, I start thinking again. And here's what I did not understand back then. The moment you ask those questions, you are not meditating. You are thinking, you are analyzing, and you are at that moment in your survival mode. And survival mode means you are in beta brainwaves. And beta is the thinking state where your mind is alert, when your mind is analyzing, judging, and trying to solve problems, right? And you cannot enter the subconscious state from a beta state. But I will not go too deep into this in this video. So at some point I realized it was not the meditation that was the problem. It was starting from survival mode, where I kept thinking over and over again and trying to control my thoughts. So it was time to change some things. And this is where I made one of my biggest shifts, because I met someone who told me something very simple, but very, very powerful, and that is this. If you want your meditation to work, you should not start from a survival mode. Start with your breath. Calm the body first and the mind will follow. And he showed me different breathing techniques that helped me shift out of survival mode in just a few minutes. And honestly, that changed everything for me, because instead of trying to force myself straight into the meditation, I started with my breath. And this is the most simple technique that made a huge difference, and that was box breathing. You breathe in for 4 seconds, 2, 3, 4. Then you hold for 4 seconds, 2, 3, 4. Then you breathe out for 4 seconds, 2, 3, 4. And then you hold for 4 seconds, 2, 3, 4. And then you start over again. And when you do this, something really powerful happens. Your heart rate slows down, your breath deepens, and your brainwaves shifts out of survival mode into slower brainwaves. And this is the point where your mind stops asking questions. It is really, really powerful. But when I finally entered the right state and I got out of survival mode, something unexpected happened. I started meditating for the wrong reason. And this is lesson number 3. I turned meditation into a goal instead of a state. So after a long time of meditation, I actually started to notice real changes in my body. My mind got quieter, my body felt different, and I felt more connected, more relaxed, more aware. And this is a great feeling, right? But because of those shifts, something unexpected happened. I started to expect results. I started to meditate to get something out of it. So every time nothing happened in my meditation, every session that not give me a sign or a feeling, it became proof for me that I was doing something wrong, that my meditation did not work anymore. And that old voice came back. You see, nothing is happening. You are wasting your time. You have to try something different. But here's what I finally realized. I was not failing. I was not doing it wrong. I was slipping back into the old pattern of chasing, forcing, and trying to control outcomes. I started meditating from lack again. So that is the point where I changed my approach, and why this is such an important lesson for you. I stopped meditating to get something. I focused only on the feeling, on the elevated state of my emotions, and just being there, just relaxing. And that was the moment everything changed again. Because the moment you let go of the outcome, the body relaxes. And when the body relaxes, the door to creation opens. So I was never failing. I was begging with my eyes closed. So what is my biggest learning here? Meditation is not about trying to get something. Meditation is about becoming someone. And this is exactly why Dr. Joe teaches it. If you meditate from lack, you create more of the same, more lack. But if you meditate from an elevated state, elevated emotions, the body begins to believe the future has already happened to you. And that is when the change begins. So letting go of the outcome helped, really helped. But I still had one big weakness. I could not stay consistent long enough. And that is lesson number 4. I was completely inconsistent and it killed my total progress. So in the beginning, I was all over the place. Some days I meditated, some days I totally skipped, and some weeks I was fully committed, and other weeks I did nothing. And this created a painful cycle. I had short-term progress, but then doubt and fear creeped in and I stopped again. And when I stopped, I felt guilty. And when I felt guilty, it felt like failure, right? And then I pushed myself again and again. And after a while, the whole cycle repeated itself. And at some point, I got really frustrated. And that's when I finally realized something important. It was not the meditation that was the problem, it was my own inconsistency. I could not expect long-term transformation from short-term effort, right? And I like to use this metaphor. When you build a house, the foundation takes the longest. It is the part nobody sees. It is the part that looks like nothing is happening. But if you rush it, or even worse, you skip it, the whole house collapses later. And consistency is the same. You are building the foundation of your future self. And foundations are invisible, but it's really important because everything stands on it. So I ask myself a new question. How do I stay consistent even on the days I do not feel like it? And the question changed everything, because on the days I did not want to meditate, I always made the same mistake. I told myself I need to do the full meditation. I need to go deep. I need to stay focused for 45 minutes. And my mind said, nope, not today. So I changed my approach. If I did not feel like meditating for 45 minutes, I would do a 5-minute meditation. Just 5 minutes. Because here's the secret. You stay in the work even when you do not feel like it. And it doesn't feel like you failed at that moment. But just like with Netflix, once the episode starts, you want to keep watching, right? And this is exactly what happened. Most days, once I started my 5 minutes of meditations, I naturally continued. 5 became 10, 10 became 15. And without forcing it, I finished the whole meditation. And the most important part is I stopped missing days and stopped feeling like I was failing on myself. And this is how I became consistent. Not by pushing harder or try to push myself into it, but by starting smaller. Just 5 minutes. But the hardest part was not even inconsistency. It was feeling like I was the only one who believed in this work. And that was lesson number 5. I had to keep faith while walking the lonely path. When you start doing this work, you quickly realize something important. Not everyone around you understands what you are doing right now. And to be honest, most people do not even believe it's real, right? So if you are just like me, you feel different than most people. You feel a call to something deeper, something more than the material world. But this also means you are walking a different path. A path that can sometimes feel lonely. Because the moment you tell someone, I am healing myself, I am changing my energy, or I'm transforming my life from the inside, they will look at you like, yeah, right. So most people will roll their eyes. Even doctors will tell you that healing through meditation is impossible. There's no scientific research for that. Yeah, right. And even your best friends or family, the people you really love, will not understand you. They will say things like, you are unrealistic, man, stop dreaming. And this can cause some doubt and fear in your mind. That was my experience. So most of the time I do not talk about the subject with people who are stuck in a 3D world. They cannot see or feel what you do yet, right? And if you let their doubt become your doubt, you will quit long before anything happens. And this is exactly the moment where you feel the loneliest, the hardest, the moment when nothing is happening. Your old voice kicks in and whispers, maybe they are right, maybe this will not work for you. And this is where I made one of the most important decisions of my journey. I decided to control what I feed in my mind. And this is also what I learned from analyzing 56 testimonials of Dr. Joe Dispenza. They all immerse themselves in the content of Dr. Joe. Dozens of them. Real people, real healing, real change. And every time doubt creeps in or doubt came up, a new testimonial reminded me that everything is possible. You only have to stay in the game. You have to believe until you experience it, right? And that is what I call the lonely path. And if you can do this, if you can stay in the game long enough, I guarantee you that everything will change. So if you are smart, and you are smart because you are still watching, then subscribe to this channel so I can motivate you every time doubt or fear creeps in. And I give you the best possible content on the internet about meditation, about manifestation, and about transformation. And together we stay strong, right? So believing in the work kept me going. But it did not change one important thing: who I was being during the rest of the day. And that is lesson number 6. I was living as my old self outside the meditation. So one of the biggest mistakes I made on this journey was this. I thought the meditation itself would change me. I would meditate in the morning. I feel calm, I feel connected, I felt elevated emotions. And then I walked into my day and slipped right back into the old version of me. Stress, overthinking, getting annoyed at small things, reacting to everything around me. And here's the painful truth, which is those reactions were even out the work I was doing in my meditations. Because I realized this: you do not get what you want. You get what you are. The universe does not respond to what you try to manifest during your meditation. The universe responds to your state of being throughout your entire day. And when I understood this, it hit me really hard because I was trying to become someone new for 30 minutes and then I was living as the old me for the next 23 hours. And this was the turning point, and therefore I understood that meditation is the training, but your day, your reactions, your emotions, your choices, that is the real transformation. So I asked myself a simple but honest question. Who am I being when I'm not meditating? So I started catching my old reactions. When stress came up, I paused. When old thoughts returned, I noticed them and let them go. And the more I practiced this, the more my outside world started to shift. Not because of what I visualized in meditation, but because of who I became after the meditation. And that is the real lesson. The old you has to die. Transformation happens in the moments where your old self shows up and you choose to be different this time. And this is when the universe responds, not to what you want, but who you really are. And even after all these breakthroughs, I see people struggle with the last one, which is this. What do you do when you see no results at all? And that is lesson number 7. If you're doing the work but nothing is happening, this one is important. So there is something I realized after a while. A lot of people will leave comments on my videos. They are doing the work. They are trying to change. They are showing up every single day. But for whatever reason, nothing is happening yet. No signs, no synchronicities, no big changes. And I know that can feel so heavy because you start to wonder, why is it not happening for me? So I wanted to understand this deeply. And that is why I analyzed 56 testimonials from Dr. Joe Dispenza, his YouTube channel. And I wanted to see what these people did differently. And then I discovered 10 unexpected breakthroughs, but there was one that shocked me the most. Almost none of them saw instant results. Some saw nothing for months, some saw nothing for more than a year, and some even got worse before they got better. But they all had one thing in common. They stayed in the game. They did the work every single day. And that is lesson number 7. It will come. You only have to stay in the game long enough for the body and mind to shift. And if you want to know the other 9 lessons I discovered from analyzing 56 real testimonials of Dr. Joe, watch the next video. It will open your eyes in a way nothing else will. Alright guys, that's it for today. Love you all and see you in the next video.